screen. And what else? Let's discuss our assessments first, okay? I might forgot about that. Summary rubric. I think this one. Okay, last class. Get the transcript. Okay, last session we have discussed on the presentations, right? No, this is for BMCO. Sorry. This is for BMCO. Summary. This one. Okay, let's we agree to have presentations on which date? Last class?
26, madam.
26.
Okay, 26. But apparently in Johor, 26 is considered holiday. I just noticed about that. So we cannot have classes on 25th and 26th. And additionally, there is a memo from Kuliah. We cannot have any assessment during this time from 19 to 26. So from 19 and to 26, we cannot have any assessments such as quizzes, presentation, SSR, report submissions, and so on. So we will postpone it to 2nd January. So your presentations 2, okay, you have complete presentation 1. Now your presentation 2 is, can you see the screen? Can you see
Yes,
the
madam.
screen?
Yes,
Okay.
madam. Can, madam.
All right. Thank you for your response. I feel like I'm talking alone now because it is in the room. My son downstairs, so there's no interruptions. So okay. So the presentations 2 will be on 2nd January. Is it okay, everyone?
Okay, madam.
Okay, madam.
So currently we are in week
11.
11, excellent. So 11, 12, 13. So your presentation will be on week 13. So for your report, I'm afraid that will be on 11, 12, 13, 14. So when you can submit your report? What do you think?
I think 1 week after we do our presentation is
Can
possible.
submit. Because it's already week 14, right? So now it's, no, sorry, 11, 12, 13, 14. So 14. So assume that this is week 13. So assume you can catch up and complete the proposal, chapter 1 to 3, and pilot test 4 to 5. So we assume we can complete on week 14. Is it okay?
Sure, madam.
Sure. So we just put the date here, okay? 13 January. So 1 week after the presentations, you need to submit chapter 1 to 4. So now, don't just focus on the presentation. What I want you to do now, focus on writing your report. That is the most important thing because the report consists 40% from the overall assessment. So when you focus on chapter 1 to 5, make it like as if you want to submit it as your FYP with the cover page, acknowledgements, table of contents, and so on. So you have to prepare chapter 1 to 5. So later on, after you have complete your chapter 1 to 5, then you can extract the information to put it in your presentation. So do you understand?
Yes, madam.
Yes, madam.
Okay, excellent. So now I just repeat, okay? So this is week 11. This is week 11. So we have 4 more weeks for the 2 weeks for the presentations and 3 weeks for the submit final report. So because you need to submit final report on 13th 13th consists of 40%. So you need to focus on this first report, and then after you have complete your report, then you can extract or take the or cut or take the information from the report and put it in your research presentation. Later on, if the examiner or your panel have questions, inquiries, suggestions, improvements on your presentation, then you can make the corrections or amendments on your report. Okay, so let's we have confirmed that we have presentation 2 on 2nd January and final report on 13th January. Okay, do you have any questions?
No, madam.
Okay.
No, madam.
Okay, I usually inform everyone to read the rubric. So please bear in mind, when we talk about research presentations too, this is on individuals. So the times given is usually 3 to 5 minutes. But this is only the guideline. Okay, the guideline meaning that if you want to add more slide, if you want to cut slide, it's up to you. But the most important thing you need to take note the criteria or the components or elements that the panel review on your presentation. So we go one by one. So you have to present your name and number metric numbers, your research topic, problem statement, objective, questions, theory, literature review, research framework. So these options: framework for qualitative, research framework for conceptual framework for quantitative, profile of respondent, result of quantitative or qualitative, discussion, recommendations, questionnaire. So for the questionnaire, you have lots of questionnaire or items in your instruments, right? So it doesn't, you are not, you try to put the, sorry, let me rephrase the word. There's a lots of questions in your questionnaire. There is a part A, part B, and part C. So it's not necessary to put all the information in the slide. You can just say that, okay, click link here to go to the slide. So you just prepare one Word documents like this. Okay, let me show to you like this. Okay, in chapter 3 later on, you have to submit the instruments whether you adapt or adopt. So if it will be easier if you prepare the tables like this for your instruments. Okay, like this. Can you see?
Yes, madam.
Okay, so is it adapt or adopt? So you put all the information here. Part B, numbering B1, the items, nominals, adapt or adopt. So you just put questions in the Word documents like this. Later on in your presentation, you can just say refer to the link. So you just click the link and then it will link to the Word document instead of you put all the information in the slide. Do you understand?
Yes, madam.
Madam,
Yes.
can I ask something?
Of course.
When we paste when during the presentation you said we just say click the link kan?
Yes.
So does it mean yang orang yang tekan link tu, is it us or the examiner?
So if the examiner or your panel want to see the questionnaire, you can open the Word document. But if he or she okay, he or she wants to skip, that is okay. But I think that would be easier like this. Okay, let's say I present my research, then this is my slide. So when I present my slide, this is about the report, result, and so on. Then I just open my questionnaire. So I just browse it and I show, okay, this is my questionnaire. If you want to read further, I can share and email the contents to you. But if not, then proceed to the discussion. Do you understand?
Oh, okay, madam. Okay.
So there is a pre-record session. So if the panel think that he or she wants to go detail, thoroughly check or validate your questionnaire, check the questionnaire, then he can ask, or he or she can ask me to ask you to email the questionnaire to them. But if it's okay, then we can just evaluate and ask the questions during presentation. All right. Is it okay?
Okay, madam.
All right. So the content here you can read. This is like self-explanatory, introductions, problem statement, theory, literature review. Introductions meaning that what happens in the worldwide, and then narrow down what happens in Malaysia, and then narrow down what happens to the variable that you want to discuss. The statistic, the previous study, the status quo, meaning that what has been done by previous researcher. Okay, then you try to relate it to the current endemic situations. Theory, literature review, you discuss how the theory support your conceptual framework or your framework and how you derive the research framework. Methodology, is it research quantitative, is it research qualitative? Because sometimes students forgot to mention this is quantitative and this is qualitative in the presentation. And then how do you calculate your sample size? How do you choose your respondents? We have discussed all the information previously in our session, and I also have shared the slide presentations. You can also ask me or refer back to the record sessions and the slide. So results, discussions and recommendation and presentation, meaning that instead of reading the slide, you need to communicate. And okay, so any questions? Any questions before we move on?
No, madam.
It's quite hot in this room. Are you okay at home? Okay, now cerah sikit. Okay, hold on. Okay, so last time I need to download the attendance. Okay, last time we have discussed on descriptive analysis. So before we discuss further detail, I just want to highlight the most important thing, okay? Is it Hazika here? Hazika, are you here? Hazika?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, can you enlighten us with qualitative and quantitative?
Allah.
Alright, Hazika. I'm excited to hear. Can you share your finding? No worry. This is your friends. Am I right? This is all your friends. Am I right? Are you Hazika friends or not? You're not saying yes.
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 So why are you afraid? They are your friends. They are not going to say or do anything. They will listen patiently. So can you enlighten us with the qualitative and quantitative research design?
To
English.
interview more
Okay, take your time. What is it? Yes, Hazika.
Yes, madam.
You differentiate between qualitative and quantitative.
Qualitative to qualitative is more to interview.
Qualitative or quantitative?
Qualitative.
Okay.
And quantitative
questionnaire which is we use to give to 30 respondents and collect numerical data.
Numerical data, very good. What else?
And qualitative to individu. Individu and this which is subjective, and quantitative is objective. Where 6 and analysis of target concept.
Okay, what about the types of data for qualitative?
Qualitative.
Okay, no worry. I will ask your friends too. Adliana? Adliana? Are you here? Adliana, are you here?
Yes, madam.
Okay, what is the type of data for the qualitative?
Questionnaire interview.
Yes. Sometimes we can collect the data using interview, observations, focus group discussions, content analysis. But my question is, what type of data? Okay, when you conduct interview, what type of data that you collect? What is it, Adliana? After you conduct it, what is the type of data that you collect? What is it?
Demographic.
Okay, thank you, Elena, for your answer. Partially correct. Ila, Hidayatun Nabila. Ila.
Yes.
Okay, when you collect your data, you conduct the interview session. So what type of data that you collect?
Okay, for interview session, it is in the form of words.
Okay, very good.
As it is as interview is a part of qualitative. Aside from words, it could be in terms of pictures.
Okay,
That's what I can say regarding the qualitative.
okay, excellent. So Intan Karenisa. Intan Karenisa.
Yes, madam.
Okay, what type of data for the quantitative? How many data that we have for quantitative? That we have learned previously?
Type of data for quantitative such as nominal and ordinal data.
Okay, very good. So, Hazika, can you see the difference here?
Yes, madam.
So, let me explain again, okay? So, in the qualitative research design, we have few approach. There's a lot of approach such as narrative, case study, ethnography, grounded theory, historical, and so on. But for quantitative research design, we have survey. So, in the quantitative design, we have survey. So, it can be actions research, it can be empirical research, but normally when we conduct quantitative research design, we conduct a survey. But in qualitative research design, we can conduct interview, we can conduct observation, we can do content analysis. So quantitative, usually you conduct survey, but in the qualitative, we conduct interview, observations, content analysis, and so on. So qualitative, subjective, than quantitative. Why? Because in quantitative, you have to identify your IV and your DV. For qualitative, the type of data, it can be the words, image, video, voice, artifact, and so on. So for qualitative, you identify the patterns or the theme. Okay, when you conduct the interview, you identify the code, the pattern, the theme, so that you can derive the make a conclusion from the finding after you analyze your data. But as compared and quantitative research design, we have numerical data. So when we talk about numerical data, we have nominal, ordinal, interval, or ratio. Okay, Hazika, back to you again. What does it mean by nominal data? What is nominal data? What is examples of nominal data? Hazika, what is examples of nominal data? Do you remember? Hazika, do you remember the nominal data? Hazika, do you remember the nominal data?
Yes, madam.
Do you remember the nominal data?
The answer and the nominal data. I'm sorry, madam.
Okay, never mind. Karanisa Nabila, what is the nominal data? Karanisa Nabila, what is nominal data?
Gender.
Very good. So, when we talk about nominal, we categorize each value. Value for each categories. We have value for each category. Example, gender. Okay. In that each category, male and female, they have the value. So it can be male equal to 1, male equal to 2. So this is how you put the value in the SPSS letter. Okay, don't worry, I will explain it. Hold on, okay. I think have I discussed on this slide with you? Yes or no? I think yes, right? Have I discussed these slides with you, everyone? Yes, right? Zazika, do you remember we have discussed this slide? Hazika,
Yes, madam.
do you remember we have discussed this slide?
Yes.
Do you remember or not? It's okay, you can just say no, I don't mind.
No, madam. No, sorry, madam.
Okay, so we will cover this. Is it okay, everyone? Is it okay, everyone?
Okay, madam.
Okay, so we have covered this earlier, but I just recap, okay? Quantitative research design. This is quantitative research design, okay? Quantitative research design involve dependent variable, independent variable, data, statistic. So the process, usually we have editing, we have coding, you enter the data in the SPSS, you analyze the data. It can be the descriptive analysis or inferential analysis. So the statistical, you have two. For the statistical, you have descriptive analysis. For example, how many male, how many female, how many states have been affected by the flood, or how many COVID-19 cases in Selangor, for example. So this is all descriptive analysis. Inferential analysis, we have two major research concerns. Inferential analysis, we have differences between groups such as t-test or ANOVA, or we have relationship between variables such as chi-square, Spearman's, Bayes' from a moment's correlation, or simple linear regression. So in the statistic, we have two. First, descriptive, second, inferential. For the inferential, maybe the comparison, for example, the difference between gender on their motivations to further master, or the difference between programs to further their master. For relationship, maybe the chi-square and Spearman's is non-parametric, Pearson's and simple linear regressions is parametric. For example, we want to conduct Pearson's product moment correlation. Is there any significant relationship between the interest and motivations to pursue their study? So far, you understand? Or I'm moving to part?
Yes, madam.
Understand? Okay, very good. So
Yes.
when we talk about quantitative research design, in the quantitative research design, we have scale of measurement, so we call it type of data. So scale of measurement, we have four: nominal, ordinal, interval, and ratio. Nominal is usually questions like gender, programs, status quo, social, economic, B40, 20, M40. So if the questions state the nominal questions such as yes and why, that is we call nominal scale of measurements. Do you understand?
Yes, madam.
Okay, ordinal, if we put it in ranking order. For example, which foods do you like most? Maybe you like nasi lemak, roti canai, ayam penyet, and mi hai lam, for example. So you put it in ranking order from lowest to highest. Okay, nominal dan ordinal. Interval, when you ask, interval and ordinal quite similar, but interval they have the exact amounts of value between 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4. So intervals such as when you want to ask the respondent about their preferences or agreement, which is strongly agree or strongly disagree. And ratio the highest value, where you usually ask the respondent to fill in the blank. So moving on, before we moving on here, do you have any question? Yes or no?
No, madam.
No, very good. So, no, not very good that you don't have question. Very good that you understand. So for Pearson's correlation, if you want to conduct Pearson's correlation, okay, think as this way. Okay, I'll put the analogy. The analogy here, this is like the recipe. Okay, when you want to cook for your lunch, you will think what I want to cook today. Maybe you think I want to cook ayam masak merah. Maybe I want to cook ikan siakap tiga rasa. Maybe I want to cook sotong sambal, okay, for example. So when you think about the menu, you will think about the ingredient. So this is the menu. Okay, this is all the menu. And this is all the ingredients if you want to cook this menu. So let's say this is siakap tiga rasa. So let's say this is our menu, siakap tiga rasa. So if you want to cook siakap tiga rasa, what are the ingredients that you need to prepare? Everyone. I'm asking you questions. Most obvious?
Chili, madam.
Okay, most obvious if you want to cook siakap tiga rasa.
Siakap.
Okay,
Siakap.
so if you want to cook siakap tiga rasa, of course you need to prepare the siakap. Let's say this is the siakap. And what else do you need to prepare?
Chilies.
Okay, chilies. So if you want to cook ikan siakap tiga rasa, you need to have the ingredient, which is the siakap, ikan, okay, ikan siakap, and the chili. So same thing apply in this analogy. If you want to use this analysis, the statistical analysis for Pearson's product moment correlation, your independent or dependent variable, you have to prepare the questionnaire. So your questionnaire, it must be in the scale of measurement interval or interval. Okay, so if you want to cook or you want to have this recipe but you don't prepare the right ingredient, you cannot cook this recipe. Is it correct? Do you understand?
Yes, madam.
Very good.
Madam.
So same thing with this. If you want to cook sambal sotong, this is sambal sotong. So if you want to cook sambal sotong, you have to prepare the sotong, obviously, and you have to prepare sambal, right? So if you don't have sambal and sotong, you cannot cook the sambal sotong. Same thing apply. If you want to cook t-test, you want to run analysis of t-test, you cannot run the analysis if you don't have the correct scale of measurements for dependent variable and independent variable. So for independent variable, nominal equal to 2, meaning that, for example, gender, we have male and female, or we have high score or low score, for example. So as long as we have 2 values, then we can run the test. For nominal ANOVA, we have more than 2 values. For example, programs in KLM. High square, nominal ordinal, Spearman's ordinal, regressions, interval, and interval. Do you understand? Do you have any question? No worry. If you have a question, you can just ask. Do you have any question?
For now, no, madam.
Okay.
No, madam.
Do you understand? Hazika, faham ke?
Yes, madam.
Do you have any question?
No.
Okay. And do you understand? Clear, okay.
Yes.
Alhamdulillah. Okay. So if you have nominal, ordinal, interval questions in your questionnaire, that is okay. That is also considered qualitative or quantitative?
Quantitative.
Excellent. Okay, very good. So moving on. Everyone, is it okay if we're moving on?
Yes, madam.
Okay, now we're moving on, okay? We go to the data because I promise you to teach you the inferential analysis. So let's say now I have the objective. My objective, I want to see is there any significant relationship between the interest and the motivations to get married. For example, I want to see is there any significant relationship between interest and motivations to get married. So I construct a questionnaire. One, interest, focus on interest, and then the questions, motivations to get married, for example. So these two questionnaire I asked respondent to fill in, then I asked that I got the data. So in this SPSS, can you see the screen, my screen now? Can you see my screen?
Yes, madam.
Very good.
Yes, madam.
So before we discuss on this, you need to understand a few things. Hold on. Okay, we need to understand this as these assumptions and this information first. Okay, I hope for those that are running the Pearson's correlation, you can focus on this. Okay, so let's say now I want to investigate determines relationship between two variables. So we have dependent variable and we have independent variable. So the assumptions that I have for Pearson's product moment correlations, my data is normally distributed. When I check my data in the analysis, it's normally distributed where it's you have a bar curve. Okay, so for Pearson's product moment correlations, the coefficients here, the Pearson's product moment correlation we use to describe the strength, kekuatan, and the directions. Strength and directions of our variable. Does it have the strength, relationship, positive or negative directions? Okay, we want to test our hypothesis. So for the coefficients, the value varies between -1 to +1, the correlation coefficient. So there is a lot of rule of thumb. Rule of thumb, this part you need to explain in chapter 3. Everyone, the plan for statistical analysis and rule of thumb, you need to explain in chapter what?
Chapter 3.
Very good. So remember, you can prepare after this class, you can just prepare the information. So if the coefficients, the correlation coefficients here is less than 0.2, negligible relationship. Between 0.2 and 0.4, low relationship, and so on. So, and for this is according to Gilbert, but according to Cohen, if the value range between 1.1 to 0.29, it has a weak relationship. If it's range between 0.3 to 0.49, it has moderate relationship. And if it's range between 5 to 1, it has strong relationship. So, okay, I need you to remember this step. Okay, everyone? Please take the time to read 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 before we discuss. I give you 5 minutes, is it okay? Once you read, then you can inform me. Okay, then, madam. Done, everyone? Okay, how are you? Are you okay over there? Everyone? Have you read this information?
Yes, madam.
When everyone keeps silence, quite worried because I feel like I'm talking in front of my laptops alone. Are you there, everyone? Am I talking alone?
Yes, madam.
No, madam.
Yes.
Okay, very good. Thank you so much for your response. So, we have this step. Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. State your null hypothesis or alternate hypothesis. What does it mean? This is your hypothesis. Okay, the difference is I remember Ilah asked the same question. The null hypothesis is when you say that H1, okay, there is no relationship with motivation. So null hypothesis state that there is no significant relationship no significant relationship. Whereas for the alternate hypothesis HA1, there is a significant relationship between interest and motivations to get married. So it will be easier to reject something than to accept something. So usually we use null hypothesis. Okay. So in the null hypothesis, we cannot confirm there is a significant relationship, but we just assume there is no relationship. So when we conduct the study, we will try to identify if there is a significant relationship or not. Okay, everyone, do you understand?
Yes, madam.
Very good. So the alpha value here is 0.05. The alpha is 0.05. Okay, the alpha value here is 0.05. The significant value here, we check from alpha value from the SPSS. Okay, we have null hypothesis, alpha value 0.05. We have significance value. We will check from the SPSS output. Then we make the decision. Okay, if the significance value is less than alpha value, if the significance value is less than alpha value, you have to reject null hypothesis. But if the significant value is more or larger than alpha value, you fail to reject null hypothesis. Do you understand? Do you understand, everyone? No.
Again, madam?
Okay, get it? Right, sure. Okay, we have null hypothesis here. Null hypothesis state that there's no significant relationship between interest and to get married. So we have alpha value 0.05. Then we check the SPSS output. So let's say if the significant value here, okay, let's say the significant value is 0.01. 0.01 is larger or smaller than 0.05? Smaller. So if the significant value is less than alpha value, okay, 0.01 is less than 0.05, that means you need to reject null hypothesis. Okay, you need to reject null hypothesis. Why? Because null hypothesis say that there is no significant relationship, but there is a significant relationship because the significant value is less than 0.05. If the significant value is less than 0.05, that means you need to reject null hypothesis. You need to reject null hypothesis. So when you reject null hypothesis, what does it mean? What is the conclusion?
There is significant relationship?
Exactly, excellent. So if you reject null hypothesis, no, I don't want to accept this, that means there is a significant relationship. Understand?
Yes, madam.
Very good. I repeat, we state the null hypothesis. There is no significant relationship between X and Y. So alpha value 0.05. The significant value we check from the output SPSS. If the significant value is less than alpha value, for example 0.01, so we have to reject null hypothesis. Reject. If we reject null hypothesis, our conclusion is there is a significant relationship between IV and DV. Okay, understand, everyone? Are you following me?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. Same thing with the same thing for the okay. Now I ask a question. Amanda, Amanda doing qualitative. No worry. Okay, Amanda and Aina doing qualitative. Zari Samiha.
Yes.
Okay,
Madam.
can you explain on this part? If the significant value is larger than alpha value, what does it mean?
Again, madam.
If the significance value is bigger or larger than alpha value, what does it mean?
There is no significant for conclusion.
Okay, can you explain? Meaning that, okay, let's say we have the conclusion, we have the hypothesis here. Let's say the output here is, you explain the output here.
Or if output larger than alpha, is the null hypothesis fail to reject HO.
Come again, can you repeat it?
When the 0.8 larger than 0.05
Alpha, okay.
alpha, then for the conclusion fail to reject hypothesis HO1.
So what are the conclusion?
So for the conclusion, there is no significant lah.
There is no significant relationship between X and Y. Okay, excellent. So everyone, are you following us? Do you understand? Do you have any question before we go to the SPSS? Is it already 11?
No.
No. Confirm? No.
No.
Alhamdulillah. So moving on. Okay, now we're going to do the exercise. I have this data view. This is all the response from my respondents. This is just dummy. So I have the part A, demographic questions, part B, and part C. I have checked the Chromebook alpha value, both okay. So now I want to do the Pearson's product moment correlation. First I go to transform, compute variable. I make a totals B. Then I make a summation of all of this total B. I can do it summation here, but I just want to show to you one by one. So what I do now is I want to get the total summations of all the items in the part B. Let's say now I have 18 questions and all questions are okay during the reliability analysis. Then I just put all the information here. Okay, you can just make a summation, total summations automatic total B. But sometimes if you check the reliability analysis, there's a question that you don't want to include, then at this part you just delete that question. Okay, let's say this is not reliable during the Chromebook alpha value, you don't have to include here. So this is all part 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, then okay. Same with the total C. Total C, I want to compute all total C. That means I want to get to the score for all the items in the total C. This is interval questions. Okay. Now I have total B and total C. When I go back to my data, I have total B and total C. Now, I want to see, is there any significant relationship between B and C? I go to analyze, correlate, bivariate, and I just put both right box. And then I just put OK. Okay. Hazika, how do you read this?
Yes, madam.
How do we read this?
0.5.
Come again? How do we read this?
We need to see the Pearson correlation.
Yeah, of course, this is Pearson's correlation, darling. How do we read this? How do we read this? Okay, we need to see which part.
0.5.
0. What is the item's name? What is it? You're not sure. It's okay if you're not sure, you can just say I'm not sure. Hazika?
Yes, madam, I'm not sure.
You're not sure. Don't be afraid to say I'm not sure. I'm also sometimes not sure about everything. I don't have answer to everything. So it's okay. This is a learning process. Okay. So we have total B and total C. Okay. How to read this? Okay, this is the summarize of the descriptive statistic. We have the sample size. We have only 30 respondent. That means total B is higher than total C, but we want to focus on the correlations. We don't want to focus on here. So here, as you can see here, the first row and the second row are quite similar. Okay, you can choose to see first row or second row. It doesn't matter. But if you choose to see here, this part, okay, the most important thing, you identify the sample size. The sample size N here is 30 respondent. Then the significant to tail. And then the R coefficient, the strength. So now, remember this part, you have your null hypothesis, alpha value 0.05. So Azlanida, what do you want to identify here? Azlanida, you here?
Yes, madam.
Okay, what you need to focus here? What is it? You come again?
Significant value.
Excellent. So significant value. So what is the significant value here?
0.005.
Okay, 0.005. Okay, my mistake. Here 0.005. 0.005. 0. Hold on, okay. 0.005. Okay, this one is 0. Alpha value is 0.005. Okay, 0.005. So now 0.005 is less or is less. Sorry, is less or more than 0.005. This is less or the significance value is less or more than alpha value. That's the correct question. The significant value is more than or less than alpha value. What is it? Azlanida? The significant value here is less or more than alpha value.
Alpha value is more than.
Come again? I can't hear you.
Oh, you can hear me. Okay.
Dengar tak?
Okay, what is it? What is the answer?
Alpha value is more than.
Significant value. So, very good. So, if the significant value is less than alpha value, significant value than less than alpha value, what is the answer, Karanisa? What is our decision?
Reject the hypothesis.
Okay, very good. So, if we reject null hypothesis, what is our conclusion?
There is significant relationship.
Excellent. So now, because of the significant value is 0.05, it less than alpha value 0.05. So this is 0.005. Okay, this is 0.005, it's less than alpha value. So significant value is less than alpha value, we have to reject null hypothesis. So if we reject null hypothesis here, that means there is a significant relationship. So what is the strength of the relationship according to Guilford? According to Guilford, R coefficient, what is the strength of the relationship? Pearson's correlation here, 0.501. What is the strength?
Moderate relation.
Okay, very good. Moderate relationship. But according to Cohen,
Weak relationship.
according to Cohen,
Moderate. Oh,
Strong.
strong relationship.
strong relationship. So can you see? Okay, based on the output here, according to Guilford, if you want to use Guilford rule of thumb, it has moderate relationship. There is a significant moderate relationship between this variable. But according to Cohen, there is a strong relationship. So the conclusion is there is a significant relationship between interests and motivations to get married. But this is not the causal relationship where we can check the coefficients, beta coefficient. If we want to check the beta coefficient, we conduct the multiple linear regression. So multiple linear regression where we have B, C, D, E. Okay, we have more than one independent variable. Okay, that is another analysis. But for now, do you understand the Pearson's product moment correlations, everyone?
Yes, madam.
Okay, do you have any questions? Hot to use this ring. Do you have any question?
Madam,
Yes.
for the simple linear regression, it's just the same as Pearson, right? Cumanya dia ada more variables. But the way we do it to analyze our data is the same as Pearson.
Okay, very good question, but the answer is quite different. Okay, let's say you have more than one variable. If you want to check just two variables, for example, knowledge and customer retention, this is two variables, then you can use Pearson's product moment correlation. But if you want to use multiple linear regressions or simple linear regression, you have more than one variable. That means you want to see which one of this variable have the strongest beta coefficient to explain the customer retention, meaning that which variable that contribute more to customer retention. So when you conduct the data, that will be difference analysis that we will discuss later. Is it okay? Is it okay?
Okay, madam. Next
but
class.
Yes, as you wish, next class. Alright. Because I don't want you to feel overwhelming with lots of analysis, so we go one by one. Alright, so for the next class, we will discuss as you wish. We will discuss the simple linear regressions where we use the regression here to check the simple linear regressions. Okay?
Okay, madam.
Alright, that will be difference output and difference analysis too. We will cover later. So far, do you have any question? Very good questions. We will cover the next class. Next class we don't have class, right? Okay, next. Oh Allah. Next class is Christmas. We don't have class. Next class is the president's coming to Pago. I think because of Dan Banjir, maybe he won't be able to come, so we can have class. But if he is able to come to Pago, the president, so they will conduct face-to-face sessions with all staff. We have to make another sessions for the multiple regression. But no worry, I will share the link that I will explain about it. Is it okay? Inshallah.
Okay, madam.
All right.
Okay, madam.
So last question before we end our session. Any questions? No questions. If you want to discuss anything related to your research, you can just text me. I hope everyone okay at home. This is currently the trials for all of us. So we just hope everyone stays safe and Allah is everyone's journey. And remember, keep focus on your study because that is the most important thing. Empower yourself with education. Inshallah, you will have a benefit in the future. You will never know. If, as a woman, you have to empower yourself. You have to not just be educated, get a good work, but you have to be independent, not relying on men only. Okay, that is racist, that is sexist. Okay, and my point is focus on your study. This is important no matter what happens in your life. This is Allah trials of Allah. That's Allah. We call it ujian daripada Allah. And it's quite hard, I understand, it's quite overwhelming, but we have Allah and we're strong because of Allah. Okay, so okay, I just want to recap again. We don't have class 25 and 26 because we have Christmas. Okay, there is a Christmas holiday. 28, I will inform you if we have class because the president want to come to IM Pago. But on 2nd January, we have presentation too. So I hope everyone can submit the research. Okay, everyone need to submit the link before 2nd January because the pre-recorded session we need to share with the panel before that date. So is it okay if we compile it on 30 December, everyone?
Okay, inshallah.
Okay, because the pre-recorded session, we will share it to the panel, then the panel will watch it earlier, and then during this session, they will ask a question. So they need the link earlier so they can watch it. So I hope before 30 or during 30, we can have the session. I will make parallel session. Intan, can you help me with the link, Google Meet link?
Alright, madam.
All right, thank you so much, Intan. So I guess that's all for today. I hope you're okay, everyone, and stay strong. We end our session with as okay, take care, everyone. Go grab your lunch. Assalamualaikum.
Salam. Thank you,
Salam,
madam.
madam.
Thank you, madam.
Salam. Thank you.
Okay.
Everyone.
All right. Assalamualaikum.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you, Razika.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you, Farhana. Take care.
Madam,
Yes, Amanda. Amanda, Farhana, you have questions?
Farhana first.
ni saya nak cakap Alia Nadira tak dapat masuk kelas sebab banjir. Tak ada current.
Yeah, Alia informed me earlier.
Alright.
All right, thank you.
Okay.
Okay.
Bye, madam.
Madam.
Take care.
I have a question.
Yes.
What if currently I am searching for the respondent, right? Is it still considered as pilot test? What if we assume it as the final interview?
I think for the pilot, okay, for the pilot test, we just want to make sure that the questionnaire is okay. But okay, let's say when you conduct the interview sessions, you find that when you ask 5 applicants, they gave the same answer. That means you have reached data saturated. So once you reach data saturated, it's okay. You can just finalize it as a final FYP. You can justify it there because you say that when you ask 5 respondents, they give the same answer, then you can just say, this is my data for my FYP. Right?
Okay.
Okay. But
Pray
make
for
sure
me,
you
madam.
data saturated first.
Okay. Pray for
Okay.
me, madam. Today I'm going to serbu mana-mana agensi yang ada.
It's quite challenging, I understand. Very challenging already, right? Because it's banjir and so on.
But luckily my area did not affected.
Oh, okay.
closest to my home is di Hulu Langat.
That's the thing, it's quite sad to see. Sedih kan saya tengok baby, orang tua. Alah.
Betul madam? Yang OKU lagi
Hmm.
bagus.
Betul? Itulah, kita harap semua okey lah.
Betul, madam pun harap madam sihat.
Saya bagi baby saya ni.
Tak apa, madam, untuk baby.
Okay, Amanda terus continue working on chapter 1 to 5, okay?
Alright, thank you madam. Assalamualaikum.
Salam, take care.
Take care too.